Hello everybody, this is Refresh, and I'm here to bring you a battle between two sealed decks for Innistrad Midnight Hunt. Over here we have a red and blue deck, and over there we have a blue and green deck. These are built in separate videos, which you can find links to in the description box below. We will go ahead and roll off to see who goes first. Izzet rolls an 11. Simic rolls a 6. Izzet will choose to go first. Izzet draws a Fangblade Brigand, Galvanic Iteration, Fading Hope, Voldaren Ambusher, Grafted Identity, Burn the Accused, Unblinking Observer. No lands is a no keep. We will mulligan and go down to 6. Now we have a Festival Crasher, Startle, Mountain, Island, Mountain, Moonrager Slash, and Poppet Stitcher. This is a much more acceptable hand, so we will keep this, and we will take the Startle and stick this on the bottom. Simic draws an Island, a Shadow Beast Sighting, Island, Harvesttide Sentry, Candlelit Cavalry, Burly Breaker, and Locked in the Cemetery. Unfortunately, I only have one blue card and no forests, and so I think we're going to have to mulligan this hand. Now we have an Island, a Howl of the Hunt, Bounding Wolf, Otherworldly Gaze, Forest, Geistwave, and Slogurk the Overslime. I think that this is an acceptable first hand. We will go ahead and put the Otherworldly Gaze in the graveyard. It has flashback, so we will be able to cast it from there. Izzet will go ahead and get started by playing the Island, and we'll pass the turn. Simic draws an Island, we'll play a Forest, and we will pass the turn. Izzet draws an Island, we'll play a Mountain, we'll tap 2, and we'll cast a Festival Crasher. This is a 1/3 Devil, and whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. And then we'll pass the turn. Simic draws a Wrenn and Seven. We'll play an Island, and then we will pass the turn. We draw an Island. We'll play an Island. We'll go to combat and swing with the Festival Crasher for 1. Simic declines the block. We'll take 1 and go to 19. We'll tap out and we'll play the Poppet Stitcher. This is a 2/3 human wizard. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more creature tokens, you may transform Poppet Stitcher. The backside is Poppet Factory. It's an artifact. Creature tokens you control lose all abilities and have base power and toughness 3/3. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may transform Poppet Factory. Then we'll pass the turn. Simic draws an Island. We'll play an Island. We can either try to surprise block with the Bounding Wolf, or we just play out the Slogurk the Overslime and hope that that's enough. Let's try the surprise block with the Bounding Wolf. Izzet untaps, draws, gets a Galvanic Iteration. We'll play another Mountain. We'll attack with both. So we will go to combat and we will attack with both. After attacks are declared, we'll go ahead and cast the Bounding Wolf. This is a 3/2 wolf with flash and reach. Izzet will spend 3 mana and cast Moonrager Slash. This is an instant. It costs 2 less to cast if it's night, and it deals 3 damage to any target. It will deal 3 damage to the Bounding Wolf. This triggers the Festival Crasher, making it a 3/3, as well as the Poppet Stitcher, creating a 2/2 black zombie creature token. The Bounding Wolf dies, and Simic will take 5, going to 14. Izzet passes the turn. Simic draws a Revenge of the Drowned. We'll go ahead and play another Island. I think we just play Slogurk to reduce the attack volume here. Slogurk the Overslime is a 3/3 legendary ooze with trample, and whenever a land card is put into your graveyard from anywhere, put a +1/+1 counter on Slogurk for the Overslime. Remove 3 +1/+1 counters from Slogurk to return it to its owner's hand, and when it leaves the battlefield, return up to 3 target land cards from your graveyard to the hand. We don't have anything else that we can do, so we'll pass the turn. Draw another Revenge of the Damned. We'll play the Island. I think that this is totally worth doing right now, just to get the damage. We will spend 4 mana and cast Revenge of the Drowned. This is an instant. Target creature's owner puts it on top or bottom of their library. You create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed. We'll target the Slogurk the Overslime. This will, on cast, trigger the Festival Crasher, making it 3/3, and the Poppet Stitcher, getting us a zombie creature token. We'll get another zombie off the Revenge of the Overslime. We realize that Slogurk doesn't really trigger itself. We're going to have some issues with these zombies, and so we are going to bottom Slogurk in hopes of finding something a little bit more defensive. Izzet will swing again with his 2 non-decayed creatures. Simic takes 5 and goes to 9. Izzet passes the turn. We draw a clear shot. Unfortunately, this is not a creature, and so I think we're going to have to try to remove the Poppet Stitcher before it can turn into an artifact. Tap out. We'll also cast Revenge of the Drowned, targeting the Poppet Stitcher. We get a zombie. Izzet will put the Poppet Stitcher on top of their deck. Then hopefully we'll be able to clear shot the Poppet Stitcher on its return. Simic will pass the turn. We're going to tap. Draw the Poppet Stitcher. We'll play the Poppet Stitcher. We'll go to combat with the Festival Crasher and attack. Simic takes 1 and goes to 8. Then Izzet will pass the turn. Simic draws a Sludge Monster. Can't cast that yet, but we clearly know what we have to do. We have to stop the Poppet Stitcher before it flips, so we'll go ahead and spend 3 mana and cast Clear Shot. It's an instant. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. It deals damage equal to its power. Target creature you don't control will blow up the Poppet Stitcher with the zombie. Poppet Stitcher dies. Then we'll pass the turn. Izzet untaps. Draws, gets a Voldaren Ambusher. They don't have any defenses, and we have 7 damage on board. They have only 8 life. So we can cast Galvanic Iteration. This is an instant. It says when you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. That powers up the Festival Crasher. And then we don't have any need to do anything else. So we will go ahead and attack with everything for a total of 9 damage. Simic has no defense because they can't block with the zombie and they have no 1 mana outs. And so they will take 9 and go to 0 and lose this round. We'll be back for sideboarding, if any, and then for game 2. Both decks have opted not to sideboard as we go to the second game of best of 3, and Simic will opt to go first. Simic draws a Shadow Beast Sighting, Revenge of the Drowned, Island, Gale Drifter, Locked in the Cemetery, Sludge Monster, and Forest. This is a hand that has primarily 4-drops and a Locked in the Cemetery. I guess we can try to rely on the 4-drops to get there, but I feel like it's just too slow, especially without any more mana than 2 to keep, and so we're going to mulligan. Now we have a Gale Drifter, Clear Shot, Geistwave, Slogurk the Overslime, Candlelit Cavalry, Island, and Wrenn and Seven. Unfortunately, we only have 1 land, and so we're going to have to mulligan down to 5. Now we have a Hound Tamer, Forest, 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 Island, Island, and a Snarling Wolf. We really don't like this, but the Snarling Wolf can actually hold down the game for a little bit and maybe get us to the Hound Tamer, and so we're going to hold on to this and hopefully we'll be able to draw something that's not just lands for the rest of the game. We'll go ahead and put 1 of the forests in the bottom and 1 of the islands as well. Izzet draws a Geistflame Reservoir, Island, Arcane Infusion, Voldaren Ambusher, Island, Mountain, and Startle. It's a little bit of a slow hand, but I guess we can keep this. Simic will begin by playing a forest and tapping it to cast a Snarling Wolf. This is a 1/1 wolf, and for 1 in green, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Activate only once each turn, and we'll pass a turn. Izzet draws a Covetous Castaway. We'll go ahead and play a blue mana, and then we will pass the turn. Simic draws a Shadow Beast Sighting. We'll play an Island. We'll go to combat and attack with the Snarling Wolf. Izzet will decline to block, and we will tap out to give the Wolf +2/+2. Izzet will take 3 and go down to 17. Simic will pass the turn. Izzet draws a Fading Hope. We'll play a Mountain. We'll tap both of these and cast the Covetous Castaway. This is a 1/3 human, and when it dies, mill 3 cards. You can disturb for 3 blue. When you disturb, you get a Ghostly Castigator. This is a 3/4 spirit with flying, and when it enters the battlefield, you may shuffle up to 3 target cards from your graveyard into your library. If it be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. Then we'll pass the turn. Simic draws a Burly Breaker. We'll play a Forest, and then we will go ahead and attack with the Snarling Wolf. Izzet declines to block. We'll take 1 and go to 16. Then Simic will tap out, and we will cast the Hound Tamer. This is a 3/3 human werewolf with trample, and for 3 green, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. It is also day-bound. That makes it day. And then on the back, it is Untamed Pup, it's a 4/4 trample. It's a 4/4 werewolf with trample. Other wolves and werewolves you control have trample, and for 3 and a green, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature with Nightbound. And Simic will pass the turn. Is it untaps and draws a island. We'll go ahead and play an island. I think we want to try to get the value going for the Geist Flame Reservoir. So we will tap out and we'll play the Geist Flame Reservoir. This is an artifact. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a charge counter on Geist Flame Reservoir. For 1 and red, you may tap it and remove any number of charge counters from Geist Flame Reservoir. It deals damage to any target. And for 1 and red, you can tap it to exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn, and then we'll pass the turn. We draw a Wrenn and Seven. We don't have a 4th land, unfortunately, so we can't activate any abilities here. But I think we can put the pressure on right now, so we'll go ahead and turn everybody sideways. Izzet will decline to block, so we'll tap the forest and the island to pump up the Snarling Wolf. Izzet takes 7 and goes to 9. And then we will pass the turn. This will trigger Night because no spells were cast. It is now Night, and the Hound Tamer will become the Untamed Pup. We'll untap and draw a Evolving Wilds. Let's see, we don't have anything to do beyond 3 mana, so I think we're going to play the Evolving Wilds. It's a land. You can tap it, sack it, search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, tap, and then shuffle. We'll go ahead and do that now. Grab a mountain. And I think we can take one more hit, but probably no more than one more, to get rid of the pup at this point. So we'll swing with a Covetous Castaway for 1. Simic takes 1 and goes to 19. Then we'll spend 3 mana and cast the Voldaren Ambusher. This is a 2/2 Vampire Archer, and when it enters the battlefield, if an opponent lost life this turn, it deals X damage up to 1 target or creature or planeswalker, where X is the number of vampires you control. We did deal damage, and so we have 1 vampire, so we'll deal 1 damage to this Snarling Wolf. The Snarling Wolf dies, and then we will pass the turn. We draw a Nibelgeist Intruder. We are at 19 life. I think we just press on here. And so we will attack with the Untamed Pup. We will decline to block this time and go down to 5. We'll hold up the Nibelgeist Intruder and we will pass the turn. We draw a Moonrager Slash. We'll play an island. And I think we need to hold the slash for their turn. I might be able to bounce, startle, and such to keep myself alive here. So we will pass the turn. At the end of the turn, we'll tap 3 and we will cast the Nibelgeist Intruder. This is a 2/1 spirit with flash and flying. When it enters the battlefield, up to 1 target creature an opponent control gets -2/-0 until end of turn. We'll choose the Voldaren Ambusher, but it doesn't really matter here. Then we draw a forest. We'll play the forest. I think we might have something here. We'll go ahead and swing with the team to try to finish off our opponent here. We'll double block the pup. Simic will spend 4 mana and use the pup's ability to put a +1/+1 counter on the Nibelgeist Intruder. In response to this, Izzet will tap an island and cast Fading Hope. This is an instant. It says return target creature to its owner's hand. If its mana value is 3 or less, scry 1. We'll bounce the Nibelgeist Intruder. The Intruder returns to our hand. Simic will order the damage to do the damage to the Ambusher first. The Ambusher goes down. The pup sustains 3 damage, and Izzet will tap 1 red mana to cast Moonrager Slash. It costs 2 less to cast if it's night, and it deals 3 damage to any target. We'll finish off the pup. This will put 2 counters for the 2 spells onto the Geist Flame Reservoir, and this will flip night to day on the next turn. The pup dies, and Simic will pass the turn. We'll go back to day. Izzet draws a Famished Foragers. I think we're going to dig to see if there's a land coming out. So we'll spend 2 mana and exile the top card. This is a Baithook Angler. Might as well not let that go to waste, so we'll go ahead and spend 2 more mana to cast the Baithook Angler. This is a 2/1 Human Peasant with Disturb 1 blue. If you disturb it, you get a Hook Haunt Drifter. It's a 1/2 spirit with flying, and if it be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. And then we will pass the turn. Simic draws a Harvest Tide Sentry. We'll just go ahead and spend 4 mana to cast Shadow Beast Sighting. It's a sorcery, get a 4/4 green beast creature token, and has flashback 6 green. Here's our beast, then we'll pass the turn. Is it draws a mountain, we'll play the mountain. Let's go ahead and tap 4 mana and play the Famished Foragers. This is a 4/3 vampire, and when it enters the battlefield, if an opponent lost life this turn, add red, red, red. And for 2 in a red, you can discard a card to draw a card, and then we'll pass the turn. Draw a Locked in the Cemetery. I know we have the Nibelgeist Intruder. We don't have any good way of pushing through this. So I think what we're going to do for now is play the Harvesttide Sentry. This is a 3/1 human warrior with Coven. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, it can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less this turn. And then we will pass the turn. One tap. We draw a Stormrider Spirit. I think we just start picking off my opponent's stuff. We'll tap 2 mana and remove a counter from the Geist Flame Reservoir to use its first ability to deal 1 damage to the Harvesttide Sentry. The sentry dies. We have to remain somewhat defensive here because of our low life total. And so we're just going to stop here and pass the turn. No spells were cast, so it becomes night. Simic draws a Gale Drifter. That's probably the way to go with 4 mana. So we don't have good attacks, so we'll just tap 4 and try to win in the sky with the Gale Drifter. This is a 3/2 Hippogriff with flying and disturb 4 blue. Undisturbed, it becomes a Whale Drifter. This is a 2/2 Hippogriff Spirit with flying, and if it be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. And then we'll go to the end step. At the end step we'll spend 2 mana and cast Arcane Infusion. It's an instant. It says look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an instant or sorcery card from among them and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. You can flash it back for 3 blue, red. This will take up the reservoir. The first 4 cards are Island, Geistwave, Mountain, and Festival Crasher. Of these, we can only take the Geistwave, so we'll put that into our hand. And then we will spend 2 more mana to cast Geistwave. This is an instant, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. If you control that permanent, draw a card. We will return the Beast. The Beast is gone. We get a Mountain. We'll play the Mountain. We'll tap 2. Remove the counters on the reservoir to deal 2 to the Gale Drifter. Night should also become day, and the Gale Drifter dies. I think we can afford to swing, so we'll swing with the whole team for 7 damage. Simic takes 7 and goes to 12. Izzet will pass a turn. Simic draws a forest. I'll play the forest. We can either cast Wrenn and Seven or the Burly Breaker, or we can cast Locked in the Cemetery to lock down their 4/3, and then Nibelgeist Intruder to try to win in the air. Don't know what else they have. Or we can get back the Gale Drifter to be a Whale Drifter. I think I'm going to just hold the ground for now and then try to threaten the sky later. So let's go ahead and tap out and cast a Burly Breaker. This is a 6/5 human werewolf, ward 1 and daybound. On the backside, it is a Dire Strain Demolisher, which becomes an 8/7 with ward 3 and nightbound. Then we'll pass the turn. At the end of the turn, we'll tap 5. We'll cast a Stormrider Spirit. This is a 3/3 Spirit with flash and flying. We'll untap. We get a Unblinking Observer. I think we can afford to use the Geist Flame Reservoir, so we'll tap 2 to exile the top card, which is an island. We'll play the island. Then we'll go ahead and attack with the Stormrider Spirit in the air. Simic takes 3 and goes to 9. Now we need some defense in the air. Then we'll spend 2 more mana and cast the Unblinking Observer. This is a 2/1 Homunculus with tap, add blue. Spend this mana only to pay a disturb cost or to cast an instant or sorcery spell. And then we will pass the turn. Then we get a Wrenn and Seven. I think at this point it's worth it just to get the Wrenn and Sevens going. So we'll tap out and we'll cast a Wrenn and Seven. This is a 5 loyalty legendary Wrenn Planeswalker, and +1 reveal the top 4 cards of the library. Put all land cards revealed this way into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. For 0, put any number of land cards from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. For -3, create a green treeful creature token with reach and this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. And then -8, return all permanent from your graveyard to your hand. You get a emblem with you have no maximum hand size. We don't really want to trade the Burly Breaker. So we'll go ahead and immediately -3 Wrenn to get the Tree Folk to defend Wrenn. It's a 5/5, and then we will hold here. On top, get a Shipwreck Sifters. Go ahead and tap 2 to exile the top card, which is a Grafted Identity. Well, this is pretty good. Okay, we will spend 4 mana to cast Grafted Identity. This is a enchantment aura. As an additional cost to cast the spell, sacrifice a creature, enchant creature. You control enchanted creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1. We will sacrifice the Baithook Angler to steal the Tree Folk, which now becomes a 8/8. And then we have the means to get rid of Wrenn. So I think we will just swing with the Stormrider Spirit at Wrenn. Wrenn goes down. Then we'll spend 2 more mana to cast the Shipwreck Sifters. This is a 1/2 spirit, and when it enters the battlefield, draw a card, then discard a card. Whenever you discard a spirit card or a card with Disturb, put a +1/+1 counter on Shipwreck Sifters. The reservoir should be tipped. And we'll draw and discard the island. I think we have a good spot here, so we will pass the turn. Draw a Consider. We're going to be stuck in Chumpsville if we don't deal with that Grafted Entity. Fortunately, we have 6 cards in our graveyard, so we'll spend 2 mana and cast Locked in the Cemetery. This is an enchantment aura. When it enters the battlefield, if there are 5 or more cards in your graveyard, tap enchanted creature, and enchanted creature does not untap during its controller's untap step. We'll put that on the Tree Folk. The Tree Folk is tapped. And we can't cast anything else, so we'll pass the turn. And we get a Galvanic Iteration. Well, my opponent doesn't have any blue mana, so I think we can safely go in through the air. We'll swing for 3. We'll go ahead and use the Geistflame Reservoir right now to see what else we have. We have a Stolen Vitality on top. Oh, I think we can win. So this is how we do it. We'll attack with the Stormrider Spirit in the air. Actually, I think we can just attack with everything. We'll block the 4/3 with the Burly Breaker. Then Izzet will tap 2 and cast the Galvanic Iteration. Then we'll spend 2 mana and cast Stolen Vitality, which will copy. And this is an instant. Target creature gets +3/+1 until end of turn. If it's your turn, that creature gets trampled until end of turn. Otherwise, gets first strike until end of turn. It'll make it our turn, and we'll put it on the Stormrider Spirit as well as the copy. This is 2 spells that are cast. That is 9 damage in the air, plus all this on the ground. And so we'll deal 13 damage that is unblocked. And Izzet will defeat Simic in straight sets. Now, Simic had some serious mana problems for the duration of their second game, on top of having to mulligan down to 5. And so I don't know if this is representative of how all games would go. Let me know what your thoughts were about the games in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you'd like to see more of my videos, you can subscribe. This is Refresh. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.